our second session in our Beginners Yoga series. My name is Lauren O'Sullivan. I'm one of the yoga teachers with Help the Heroes. I specialise in working with people that have experienced trauma, utilising breathwork and yoga.
Hello, and my name is Francesca Bingley. I'm a registered nurse and also a Hatha yoga teacher. I tend to work with people that have had complex injuries, but I also work just regularly working with basically anyone that comes to a session and wants to do yoga, and we find a way to work with your system as it is today. So this particular practice that Lauren and I will be demonstrating and teaching will be for anyone that wants to give a full body practice a go. So we're going to also offer adaptations, so it's particularly good if you have problems with your knees or with your hips, but it's about finding a way to work with the practice as you are today.
Okay, so what we're going to do is first of all just demonstrate our setup. So we've got a yoga mat, we've got some bolsters. You may notice also we have a chair, but we've actually put it against the wall. This will secure it. It's really important that it doesn't move around if you are using the chair, so it's nice and secure for you. Okay, I'm going to ask Fran now just to get herself nice and comfortable on her mat. So we're going to come into the Namaste Kriya. And Namaste Kriya really is about setting your intention for the practice and connecting to your wish to grow, your wish to engage in the practice, but also really demonstrating it, putting some value on the time that you're giving. Okay, so the practice that we are now going into is a sun salutation practice. Last week we demonstrated the mountain flow. This is the next flow on, which is really around creating a huge amount of heat and energy in the body. So it's actually a self-contained practice. You know, you could do this just as it is. It's going to work on your nervous system by raising the energy and also soothing the energy. So we kind of pendulum through opening inhales and soothing ourselves through our forward bows and our exhales. So we're constantly working with the spine backwards and forwards. Okay, so have a sense now of coming into your practice. You can find a nice comfortable position for yourself. Close your eyes, or you can have your gaze shifted downwards. Take some time just to grow into your spine. Open out through your chest. Have a sense now of connecting to this wish inside, this fire inside the belly, which really brought you to your mat today. Your inquiring, your curiosity. So we have some principles that we use throughout the practice. Today's principle is perseverance. It's called titiksha in Sanskrit, perseverance. And I always feel that that is really about when to work and when to let go. And with the let go, we're connecting to this sense of sukha, which is easiness. So it's really learning mastery, learning to persevere with challenge, but also with patience. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring all of this intention and all of this drive and seal it in our heart. So we take an inhale to raise the hands above the head, bringing the palms together. This is called Anjali Mudra. And we draw this down, sealing the hands together, thumbs pressing into the sternum, chest is alive. And we simply take a bow. We say Namaste, which is a thank you, which is a show of respect. And now we're ready to come into our dynamic breathing practice. So you can either do this lying down or you can do this seated. I'm going to ask Fran to stay seated today. There is, no real preference, but I think it's really important to connect to, staying in a place that's engaged in your body, okay, so that you don't drift off. You want to kind of stay relaxed, but also have a sense that you're really bringing your energy to your breathing practice. So we're going to do 3 rounds of 10 double breaths, focusing on breathing into the belly. You take 2 breaths in through your nose, 2 breaths out through your mouth, and what it's going to do is going to raise a load of energy in the system, and then we're going to kind of pull the plug on the breathing, and we're going to settle into what we call a dynamic stillness. Okay. Have a sense now, closing the eyes, bringing your awareness to your abdomen. We're going to take 2 breaths in through the nose, 2 breaths out through the mouth. Away we go. One last breath. There'll be a rebound. You take a breath in through your nose, filling your body up with your inhale. There's a slight pause at the top. Make it your own. Open the mouth, exhale, and our breath to release. Now, allow that breathlessness to drive you inside. Have a sense of feeling in your body. Feeling your energy that's stirring. As you soften. So we tend to grip life. Have a sense that we are relaxing into our energy. And you'll notice that there will be a period that you may not need to breathe. And you just lengthen this breathlessness out a little bit longer on each round that we do. Because we have this impulse, this reactionary impulse with our breathing. And we're learning to kind of choose our breath, choose our reaction. So we're going to take a slow breath in through the nose, and we're going to fill ourselves up, and we're going to hold for 12 seconds at the top of the breath. Away we go. Our breath, exhale to release. Relax into your body. Release your effort. So with our dynamic breathing practice, we are directly engaging with our sympathetic nervous system. This is going to stimulate some sensations in the body, and we are learning to be with big sensations. We're learning to be with big energy, which actually happens every day, but we are purposely engaging with it, and we're learning to relax, and we're learning to soften into the experience of ourselves. This is going to help us increase our capacity to be with life. Okay, second round, 10 double breaths, starting breathing in through the nose twice. Away we go. Last one. Empty out, relax. You're going to pick your breath up through your inhale, filling all the way up. Make it your own. Our breath to release, melt into your body. So we're inviting our mind inside. You know, the mind spends such a huge amount of time out there in life, in thought, following our senses. And we are making this switch to be able to bring just as much awareness and focus, but inside. And we are diving into this oxygenated body. So our period where we're not breathing, we can really start to stretch our boundaries with it. You know, we start to kind of stretch into not holding the breath, but like this natural kind of breathless state. And then the CO2 starts to rise in the body, and we'll start to feel a little bit of a feedback that we need to breathe. And then you just choose. We're going to breathe together now, taking a slow breath in, and we're going to hold for 12 seconds at the top of the breath. Away we go. Our breath, exhale. So the exhales are soothing, parasympathetic. Inhales are energy rising, sympathetic nervous system. In yoga we call them Ida and Pingala. They're two sides that exist in our systems, two energy channels. And throughout our practice we are learning to swing between both like a pendulum, until we come into a state of what we call sushumna, which is equal balance. This is our kind of equilibrium. We're going to take one more round, 10 double breaths. Take one breath at a time, remembering that we can dial up the intensity of the breathing, or we can dial it down, nice and light, even less repetition. Okay? Starting in the belly, away we go. Last one. Empty out. We're going to take a nice clearing breath through our inhale, filling ourselves up, and away we go. Our breath to release. So the mind thinks it knows. It's built on repetition, it's built on grooves, conditions, patterns. And when we engage in our dynamic breathing, we are almost stirring up the patterning. We're bringing ourselves directly into feeling. And we're learning to be with lots of different breath patterns, feelings, emotions. And we're learning to loosen our grip, letting it be there. We're making direct contact with what we call in yoga prana. Prana is your life force that kind of underpins everything that exist in life. And we are learning to kind of master it in our systems. We're going to take an inhale, we're going to fill ourselves up with our breath equaling life, and we're going to hold for 12 seconds at the top of the breath. Away we go. Our breath to exhale, to release. So we've cleared a load of kind of solidity in our system, just simply with our breathing. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move into our sun salutation practice. I'm just going to ask Fran to gently bring herself round, bearing in mind that you have done a lot of dynamic breathing. You may feel a little bit lightheaded. This is actually quite normal. Your body will get used to it and your capacity will increase. But first and foremost, we have to be gentle with ourselves. We have to be easy. So we're coming into mountain flow. First of all, we're grounding through the soles of the feet. And we're going to sync up to that block. If you remember, I put the block on and it goes off every 6 seconds, and it's a rhythmic breath. And it's an invitation to breathe with this rhythmic breathing. And we're going to close the eyes, round down through the soles of the feet, and inhale. Exhaling. So as you inhale, the sense of breath coming up through the front body. As you exhale, you're going to soften and release. Be easy. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, receiving and releasing life. We're going to take flying mountain. Inhale, raising the arms up. Pulse. Exhale. Inhale, raising the arms. Forward bow. Exhale. We're going to take a pulse of breath here. Inhaling to lift up. Exhaling to forward bow. Inhaling, breath comes in. We're going to step back with the right leg. Can you inhale, opening the chest? Exhaling, downward dog. Take a pulse here, inhaling. Exhale, you're just going to sink those feet back, heels back. That's it. Work into the legs. And we're going to come into plank, inhaling. Exhale, full point pose. You drop the knees, drop the chest down. And then Fran's going to come up into cobra, inhaling, open up the chest. Pulse, exhale. One more lift, inhale, open the heart. Downward dog on your exhale, so you're going to send your bum back, lift up through the tailbone. Pulse, exhale. Then we're going to step forwards with the right leg, inhaling. Forward bow, exhale. Flying mountain, inhale, raising the arms up. Exhale, bringing the hands back to the heart. Flying mountain, inhale, arm raise. Exhaling, forward bow. Take a pulse of breath, inhaling. Exhaling into bow. We're going to take one more pulse, inhaling to lift up. We're going to go through to the left leg now into lunge. Sinking down into your lunge. We're going to find an inhale to open the chest. Finding a downward dog on your exhale. And as if it were penduluming forwards into plank. Inhale, firm up through the body. Exhale down towards the mat. We're coming into our 4-point pose. Inhale, scooping up into cobra. Remembering we have different variations on our cobra. Down dog, exhaling. Inhaling left leg. Finding our forward bow on our exhale. Inhaling arm ring. Exhaling hands to heart. And we're just going to seal the hands there. So that's one cycle. We're just going to breathe here just for a couple of moments. Have a sense of just feeling kind of the stirring that's happening within the system. And now what we're going to do is we're going to shift into doing a sun salutation practice, but using a chair against the wall. Okay, so on the next breath, we're going to take an inhale. Exhaling out. Inhaling, arm raise. Exhaling, as you bow, you go to where you can meet. So you could take your feet a little bit hip width apart, create some space, rest your hands on your thighs. Inhale to pulse, find that dog tuck in the spine. Exhaling to forward bow. So Fran's just demonstrating, you work within your range of motion. You can even use the chair. And you're just going to simply pulse on the breath. Exhaling all the way out, softening. And now we're going to take a forward step with the right leg towards the chair. Inhaling, we're going to open out. Finding whatever lunge you can find. Exhale, pulse. So your range of motion may vary. You may be able to slide that foot back. But the key really is having a sense that you're pulsing with your breathing and you're really kind of nudging into those edges, persevering with your practice, opening up through the chest. One more pulse, exhaling. One more inhale to lift up. Fran's going to step back into her variation of her downward dog. So she's going to take her feet hip width apart, have a sense of extending out through the tailbone, pulsing on the inhale. Exhale, spreading out through her hands. And then on the next inhale, she's going to come into a cobra variation. So she's going to slide herself forwards, bringing her hips forwards, opening up through the chest. Exhale, pulsing off. Using that inhale, nudging, bringing energy up through the front body. Exhaling, softening out. One more pulse on the inhale to open up, drawing it to its peak. All the way back into her downward dog for today. I'm just going to step forwards now with that right leg, inhaling into lunge, open up. So you may even be able to start to play over time, taking your hands away from the chair. This is, you can use the wall, you can see how it is for you. Inhaling, open, lifting up. Exhale, soften. One more pulse, inhale. And then we're going to step back into our forward bow. So remembering you may want to use the chair, you may not need to. Remembering your variation on your bow may simply be a head tilt. Final exhaling forward. Flying mountain on the inhale, arms raising up. Exhaling, hands back to heart. So we're going to go to the left side now. Inhale, open the chest. Finding our forward bow, working within our range of motion, within those kind of edges. Pulse, inhale, soften. Exhaling to bow. One more pulse action. Inhaling left. Exhaling to release. She's going to take a step forwards with the left leg now into lunge. Remembering that no two sides of the body tend to be the same. Find that breath. So inhaling to lift. Exhaling to release. And this lunges are challenging, and they take time to build. So have that sense that it'll just take time, to find that stability, to trust into your feet, finding that contact. One more lift, inhale. Downward dog on your exhale. So remembering that we are having a sense of lengthening through the spine, opening up through the tailbone. Find a pulse, inhale. Exhale, pushing out. We're going to come into our cobra now. Inhaling, leaning in towards the chair. Exhaling, soften. So you just notice how an inhale builds tension, firming up, taking structure. And as you exhale, you are participating in the release. One more pulse in your cobra. Inhale, bringing it all the way up. Exhaling into your downward dog. Inhaling that left leg into lunge. Exhaling to soften, ground into the feet. As you start to springboard into your legs, opening up, lifting your torso up. Final pulse, exhale. One more lift, inhaling. Ready for your forward bow as you exhale. One pulse, inhaling. Exhaling to soften, let go. As we come into our flying mountain on the inhale, raising the arms up. Drawing the hands back to the heart. Releasing the hands to the side. And just feeling now into your body with the eyes closed. There's always an urge to fidget. Can you just be in your body as it is? We have lots of unconscious things, unconscious movements, and we're bringing everything under the light of our awareness. Feel the heat in the body, soften into your legs. Have a sense of embodying the power and the energy that you created with this solar practice. And now we're ready to come into our Shavasana Kriya, our relaxation, our absorption, where we drop the body. I'm going to ask Fran to come down onto our mat, lie yourself down. You can grab any bolsters or cushions that you need. If you find your lower back gets a little bit kind of tensed up, you can bring the knees up and allow them to kind of fold in towards each other, or simply pop some cushions underneath your legs. That's it. Have a sense now of resting into your body, feeling the coolness of the ground. And it's good to note that often you can get a lot cooler when you're lying down, so you may want to put a blanket on you. That's totally fine. But actually, we're going to keep ourselves quite engaged with our relaxation practice. And we're going to take 10 double breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, using the belly like a pump. And then we're going to do a body rotation. Bearing in mind that you may feel parts of your body, you may not. It may be silent, it may be numb, there may be tingling. That body part may actually not be there. Okay, so have a sense now that we are going into the energy body. Okay, we're going to take 10 double breaths, starting with the inhale. Away we go. Last breath. And to your breath. Release your effort. Take a slow breath in through your nose, filling your body up with your inhale. Now you're ready to release our breath. Go into feeling. Release your gripping on your body. And simply bring your attention and your awareness into the tips of your toes. Feel the energy in the tips of your toes. The roots of your toes. Feel those balls of your feet. The arches of your feet. Your heels. Tops of feet. Feel the energy in the tops of your feet. Ankle joints. Shins. Calves, so you're inside your body, inside your energy. Knee joints. Thigh. Backs of thigh. Hip joints. Tailbone. Pubic bone. Relax into your pelvic floor. Lumbar spine. Lower abdomen. Now bring your awareness to the dip in your spine. To your chest. Middle back. Shoulder blade. Shoulders. Chest. Fingertips. Roots of fingers. Palms. Travel with your awareness to the back of your hands. Wrists. Forearms. Elbows. Tops of arms. Armpits. Back to shoulders. Collarbones. Base of your neck. Pit of your throat. Now jaw. Ears. Mouth. Nose. Cheek. Temple. Eye socket. Center of your brain. Eyebrow center. Back of head. forehead, crown of head. Now bring your awareness into your whole body. Feel the energy in your whole body. Release your grip, your structures, any walls of tension. Keep softening inside into feeling. Whole body. Whole body. Now you're going to take a slow inhale through your nose and you're going to fill your whole body up with your breath. Away we go. Our breath to release. Melt your body. Allow yourself to change. Feel. So yoga is a systematic process. Working through our layers that we're made of. Our mental layer, our body, our emotions, the energy, as we slowly kind of start to peel back into our original selves, so we feel ourselves. Have a sense now of feeling into your fingers and into your toes. Maybe starting to take a few deep breaths, some slight movements, blinking the eyes open. And I'm going to ask Fran just to slowly bring herself up to a seat. Keeping the eyes open is always helpful. And we're going to finish with our Namaste Kriya. As we take an inhale to raise the hands above the head. Exhale, we're going to draw the hands down to the heart. As we take a bow to ourselves, to each other, and to the method. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.